Alright, well, it started now, so let me check to see if it's going. Okay, it says it's green. Let me listen to the audio, see what it sounds like. I already wrote the description and stuff, and I just added a random thumbnail.
Yeah. I should probably soon invest in some like proper mic or like webcam as well. Like, yeah.
No, that's fine. It sounds fine. The webcam is a little bit pixelated, but it's alright. Okay, the audio sounds and stuff, and I just added a let me see. Thumbnail.
Yeah.
Okay, and I need to turn you up just a little bit.
All right.
Okay. That should be good. Audio sounds and stuff, and I just added a let me see. Thumbnail.
Yeah.
Okay, and I need to turn you up just a little bit.
All right.
Okay. That should be good. Audio sounds and stuff, and I just okay, well, this should be fine. Alright.
All right.
your webcam is so pixelated. It's like 480p or something.
Holy shit, man.
Look at the stream and see what you look like. Here, I'll send you the link.
Okay, wait. Can you send it in the chat?
Yeah, I will. Hold on.
Wait.
Is it this one?
Like...
How do I find the link? Okay. There's the link.
Okay. Wait, I'm just gonna play it.
Yeah, tell me what you think about the audio too.
Holy shit. Okay, wait.
There's the link.
So that's what I look like now. I just don't look. Wait, I'm just gonna play it.
Well, it's only 720p right now too, so it's
the audio.
Why is it 720? What is the quality of that? This is my first time using OBS on this computer, so I haven't got any of the settings worked out.
Yeah, I think the audio should be fine actually.
Okay, well that's good.
But
as
like,
long as the audio is fine, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, let's just do it with this like cam setting and then yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
should be fine.
We've got a limited amount of time, so we might as well just get started. So today I'm going to be doing an interview with Nils, or Nils as he goes by in Japanese. This is Nils. So he's been doing AJATT for what, like 2.5 years, like 3 years. How long have you been doing?
Yeah, man, numbering it is really hard because like I started around like 2 years or even a bit longer ago, but I had like a really long break, like a few months ago for like 4 months or something. I did almost nothing in Japanese. But after that I started again, so it's
Okay.
But you could say like 2 years.
2 years. So yeah, he's been doing you're from Germany, right? You're from Germany.
Yeah.
You've been doing AJATT for about 2 years, and as I've wrote in the description, out of pretty much everyone I know, he is probably by far the best, especially in the amount of time that he's been doing it. So, I mean, he's got really good vocabulary. His reading ability, reading comprehension is really high. So he's definitely one of the more impressive AJATTers out there, if you could say that. So yeah, we're going to be interviewing him today.
Thanks, that's like a real honor.
Also, it's showing red on my OBS, so maybe I need to turn the bitrate down, because it might be cutting out. I don't know if I can even turn it down while I'm streaming. Let's see, let's try turning it to 3500. Also, this is completely impromptu, so nothing is planned, and there's no script. So if it's not the highest quality, then I apologize. But anyways, we shall continue. So yeah, we're going to be interviewing Nils today. Yeah, he's got a limited amount of time. So it'll probably be about an hour, maybe a little bit less, but try to get all the most important stuff in here. So yeah, we'll just get started. So when, or not when, but what originally got you into like Japan and Japanese?
Okay, like when I was like 10 or 11,
Yeah.
I kind of got into anime for the first time, like being conscious of it being like from Japan and stuff. And actually back then I started out like being interested in art and like started out like drawing, so I was kind of the typical like anime nerd.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a few years later, like maybe at age 14, I started like also like trying to learn the language using like Genki and
Yeah.
just well standard methods like that. But it didn't really work out, so I gave up. And like when I was like yeah, say like 16, 17, I started like getting at it again. And this time with like AJAT, even though
Okay,
it
okay, we're
wasn't
going a
really
little
AJAT, it
fast.
was just
So,
like
so
half.
you got into Japan and Japanese through like basically anime that was on TV when you were a kid, kind of, or like when you were like 10 or
Yeah,
11. So that's
yeah,
pretty similar
yeah,
to me. That's like how I got into it too, like Pokemon and Beyblade and Digimon and stuff like that.
exactly.
And then once I realized it was from Japan. So okay, so that's when you originally, or that's what originally got you into Japan, and then Japanese, and then so was that the same reason why you wanted to learn Japanese, just because you watched those anime as a kid, or was there something else? Or
Well, actually, even before I started AJAT, like even 2 years or something before that, I already knew about the AJAT method and was like watching like Matt's videos and stuff. And I was really impressed by that idea. And I also like, it's kind of personal, but I also was pretty depressed at the time. So
mm-hmm.
I was searching for like a way out of my everyday life, kind of, you could say that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought like, okay, like Japanese is such a beautiful language, at least it sounded to me like that. And maybe like if I could be like part of that, it's kind of this cliche thing, but like, yeah, I wanted to like try
Okay,
integrate it into my life.
so okay, so let's take another step back. Um, so basically, you've always kind of like thought Japanese sounded really cool, and that's like a big
Exactly.
motivation of
Yeah.
why you wanted to learn Japanese. So
Yeah.
we're kind of going through the questions really quickly here, but so when was it? So what did you do in the beginning when you first decided, okay, I'm gonna start learning Japanese? Like, what did you do?
Like through AJAT, you mean?
No, I mean just like in the very beginning, like when you said, okay, I want to learn Japanese. What did you do? Like conventional
So in
methods.
the beginning, yeah, so in the beginning, I obviously like started out like learning hiragana and katakana.
Hiragana,
And
katakana, yeah.
yeah, I just did that using like Anki and like some weird like app from the Play Store
Mm-hmm.
that has like these mnemonics to so you could remember them like more effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really easy. Like I did that in like 1 or 2 weeks. And after that, I kind of took like 2 or 3 approaches at like RTK, but I always just got like a few hundred kanji in, and then I stopped because I lost motivation. And yeah, and aside from that, I read the Genki textbook and like made flashcards for that, but that wasn't really effective as well, so I gave up.
So were you using Anki
Um,
even before you found like AJAT and immersion learning?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was like the first time I was like introduced to like Anki and learning Japanese in general was like there's that YouTuber who's called like Abroad in Japan. You
Oh, abroad
probably
in
know
Japan,
him.
yeah. Oh, I know the video you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, he made those 2 videos and introduced Anki, and I thought it was a great idea, but yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So you did that. So how long were you doing conventional methods before you found AJAT or MIA or whatever?
For like for like maybe a few months if you count like all the tries I had together because like it was always like I did it for a week and then I didn't do it anything for like a few weeks and yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
just on and off.
Got it. How did you actually find AJAT like originally?
Um, well, I don't I think it was through Matt's videos where I
Okay, so
first
you
learned
found
about the
Matt's
method.
videos or Matt's YouTube channel before you found AJAT.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So you
And
were watching his videos, and then you watched, some of his videos where he is talking about AJATT, and then from there, did you read the
actually
whole table of contents, or?
didn't read the whole table of contents like to this day. Like
Uh-huh.
I just read like the most essential stuff, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
Got it. So
And
after you read that, did something like spark inside you? Were you like extremely motivated, or?
yeah, and that's like I had a try at AJAT even before I really started AJATting,
Mm-hmm.
but it only lasted for like a week. And then like already lost my motivation to move on because I thought like I'm not made for it. But
Okay.
like then a year or something later, I actually started it, like really, yeah, doing it. Yeah.
So when you say you started it, what were you doing in the beginning, like when you first started doing AJATT?
Oh, okay. So I obviously already had like a basic vocabulary because I've been using these like Anki decks and memorize to like acquire the Genki vocabulary. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
around 900 to 1,000 words, I think. Like I already had that those basics down and the grammar and stuff. So I basically just sat down and like started reading like manga that I wanted to read. Like I am a really big fan of Junji Ito. Like he's like that famous horror manga
Okay.
artist.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always wanted to read his stuff that's like not translated in English, or yeah, at least I haven't read it in English to that point. So I just downloaded that and like kind of read it on my notebook. Yeah, using like
So in
those
the very beginning,
OCR.
you were reading a lot, like even from the very
Yeah,
start.
I
Okay.
was almost exclusively reading. Like
Really?
maybe I watched like an episode of anime a day, and then like had the whole earphone thing going on. But
Passive
like my
immersion.
main
Yeah.
focus, yeah, but my main focus was on reading.
Reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so how long did you continue like that, like where your main focus was reading and you didn't do really much else?
Um, Actually, probably for like 8, 9 months,
Eight
because
to nine
like
months.
the first 8, 9 months of my AJET journey, so to say, were really half-assed. So I was only doing like 2 to 3 hours of immersion like a day and like doing like maybe a few sentence cards. And yeah, most of that immersion was like just reading stuff. And only after that, I kind of started getting into like really sitting down and watch anime and trying to like understand it. And I mean, there's that theory that it's really bad to like only read in the beginning, but I
Mm-hmm.
think was actually a good approach because I already had that um kind of good like vocabulary basics, those basics.
Yeah.
And so it helped me like understanding the stuff I was watching.
So when you were reading, were you making cards, like sentence cards already, like while you were reading?
Yeah, all the
Okay.
Like
Gotcha.
I sat down, read some manga or something. Yeah, I only read manga at that time, no novels yet. And then I just like made them on the go. So it's like
Really?
reading.
That takes a lot of
Yeah.
motivation. I
Yeah,
cannot do
it
it
was actually help.
because you have to write everything out and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's like it's kind of
Yeah.
a pain in the ass. Yeah. Gotcha. So
Yeah.
after those 8 to 9 months where you were mainly focused on reading, then you started putting a lot of your active focus on um, listening comprehension and trying to understand what you were watching, right?
Yeah, that's right. Like after that time I got this like really big complex about my like my listening being so much worse than my reading comprehension. So yeah, I started like focusing more on listening, and yeah, I most days I probably even did a bit more listening than reading. And at this time, like I tried to like just immerse as much as I can. And because I was like going to high school and I still am, I'm like in the last year of high school now.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I didn't have so much time at my hands, but like I managed to do like 3 to 4 hours a day, and yeah,
Gotcha.
at that time.
Were you starting to notice like progress, like results from putting all that time into listening?
Well, actually, that was like after, like in the 2 to 3 months after my 1 year mark, because like at the time where I reached the 1 year mark, it was kind of like due to Corona, the big like shutdown
Mm,
happening here in Germany. So I didn't have to go to school at all, and I would just like sit down and read and watch like stuff for like say like 6, 7, 8 hours a day.
nice, nice.
And then also like put in some reading hours, but really less than I was listening. So yeah, that was when I really like felt my listening catching up to my reading
So would you say that was
comprehension.
like your prime like time? Like that was whenever you were making the most progress in your entire kind of.
Exactly, I think so. It made me go from like being a somewhat like intermediate beginner to like actually becoming like more advanced, so to say.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, do you have any like not so much recommendations, but you can also say recommendations, but like things that you were really interested or you like to use as like immersion material in terms of listening and
Oh
reading?
yeah. Of course, like in terms of listening, like I like both anime and drama.
Mm-hmm.
I have like my phases where I like the one more than the other. But obviously, like Terrace House is
Terrace
like
House,
the
yeah,
best thing ever.
classic.
Like, yeah, to like practice listening to actual natural
Yeah,
Japanese.
it's like real Japanese. Yeah.
Uh, and also, what I really like have in memory is like the Bakemonogatari series or
Oh
like
yeah.
the Monogatari series. Um, and yeah, what else? Like Tatami Galaxy.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
I haven't
know
watched
if you
that one
know
yet,
that.
but I've heard good things about it.
Yeah. And Samurai Champloo
Samurai
and just
Champloo, yeah,
one.
that's a god tier anime. If you haven't watched Samurai Champloo, go watch it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, I watched so much during that time. Also, like probably no one knows it, I think, but because it's not really famous outside of Japan. But
Hmm.
there's like that Prime series that has like tons of seasons, like probably 20 seasons by now. It's like called Aibo, and
Oh, I think I've heard of
it's
it.
like so yeah, and I watched so much of it. Like I'm at season 13 or something, and yeah, I've just put so much time into that and like yeah, watched it all like back then. And that really
Gotcha.
helped as well.
What about with reading and stuff, like manga or
Yeah,
novels or
like
anything like that?
my yeah, like the in the beginning time where I used to like focus heavily in manga, I read, as I said, like a lot of Junji Ito stuff
Hmm.
and also One Piece. Well, what else do I got? Like the first thing that I actually had in physical book form, like manga form, was like Inuyashiki,
Oh,
like
Inuyashiki, yeah,
the
that's a really
one
good
with
one.
the
Yeah.
yeah. And what else? Like yeah, actually, wait. I yeah, Death Note. I also read
Death
like all
Note,
of
yeah.
Death Note back then.
Death Note's god tier too.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
So
and a lot of stuff as well.
so when was it when you started actually reading light novels or just full blown novels? Like when was that?
Mm. Yeah, so I after like 9 or 10 months or something, I think it was around that time, I read my first like light novel. It was like a really easy one. Um, and yeah, I read like in those next few months, I read like maybe five or so light novels, like mainly mystery and stuff,
Hmm.
and romance.
Geez,
And
okay, so you
after
were
that,
reading a
I
lot
just
after you read the first one. You just kept going.
yeah, like and after that, I was like uh really fed up with light novels because
Hmm.
actually, I mean, there are good ones, but I honestly enjoy normal novels more
Yeah,
than
I
light
agree.
novels.
Yeah.
Story feels a lot thicker
Hmm.
or yeah, heavier. And so I started out like reading the normal like mystery horror things like in like novel form. And yeah, wait, I actually have that recommendation of that guy, but who I have read so much of, but I've actually forgotten his name. Like he's the one who wrote like Kuroi Ie,
Oh, I
like
finished that book.
Black House.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what was it called? Like
That book was pretty
uh,
it was slightly difficult for me at the time at least when I
yeah,
was reading it.
yeah. For me too, but like I've read so many of his books, like
Hmm.
especially during the shutdown phase, like yeah, I really got used to that like normal style of writing that those like modern novels have. Like
Yeah, I think that was my
and
first kind
then
of suspense kind of like, I don't know if you'd call it horror.
yeah,
Well, yeah, kind of. That was like kind of my first book that I
yeah.
read in that genre. Yeah.
And I feel like I really needed that like suspense aspect.
Hmm.
Because I really like that to like keep me reading because like it was actually if I was just reading like light novels and there was some romance going on which doesn't like kind of addict me at all, then I wouldn't just have like kept on reading in
Hmm.
that language. Like yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it has to keep you
And
interested. Yeah.
yeah, what exactly. And also like I was always really like feeling bad about staying with one kind of like difficulty level
Hmm.
for too long. Like I, after having read a few like suspense horror novels, I was like, oh, I need to move on from this. Maybe I should like dive into more like old literature or something.
Hmm.
Because I was basically only focused on making progress back then, and I really neglected the aspect of having fun. Um, and so I, yeah, started like maybe like last year around this time, I
Hmm.
started like getting into like the classics like Koro from Natsume Soseki and like
Yeah.
Ningen Shikaku and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've read a little bit of all of those books, but I never finished
Um,
any of them.
yeah, and actually like now by now I read both. Like when I want to relax, I just want to like fire through a novel like 100 pages in a day or like 50
Jeez.
pages
Hmm.
depending on the novel. I will just like take a normal suspense one, but like I really enjoy like the Japanese language that is used in like books by like Mishima and stuff.
Hmm.
It's like so beautiful, so I absolutely love reading that stuff.
So I
Yeah.
think this is important for people watching because I think this is a big reason why Nils has gotten to the level that he has in this short of time. As you just heard him say, he never was kind of, how do you say it, complacent with the difficulty level that he was at. So he was constantly making the stuff that he was doing harder and harder because that's how focused he was on making progress. So even though he was already reading novels and mystery novels and suspense novels, which are already pretty difficult for the average learner, he moved on to even older literature, and then finally to stuff like Natsume Soseki and stuff like that. So this just goes to show why he's at the level that he is. I would say. So
Well, but I also think that the actually sorry, my German accent comes through a lot, so I hope it's still
no, no, it's
understandable. But
fine.
like okay, like I actually wouldn't like recommend other people to do it the way that I did
Mm-hmm.
because like as I mentioned, like I tried using Japanese as a way to like upper my self-esteem and like feeling more okay with like the yeah the life I'm living because I was kind of having like yeah some mind problems back then.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so I kind of feel like at this point I feel like I use Japanese as a way to do that. So and that's why I also always just like wanted that like motivation high from yeah doing harder stuff and like
mm-hmm.
feeling good for that. And I think it would have been much better if I would have just like kept enjoying the stuff I actually like for like
Yeah, for sure. For
longer, just
consistency's
the way I
sake,
do it now.
making the process as fun as possible is definitely the best way to go. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was al always having like this pressure, like looking at the like aged community and seeing like pretty much everyone was investing more time than me. Because like on an average school day, as I said, I can do like 3 to 4 hours, like
Mm-hmm.
if it's like a good day. Um, so I always had that in the back of my mind, and I thought like because I already have less time than others probably do, or I don't know, maybe it's because of my time management or something. But because of that, I need to like be more effective, and that kind of really like also pushed me in a negative direction. But I mean, it's the reason that I can, yeah, read and comprehend stuff that well now. So yeah.
Yeah, but that's also another good point, is that it's very easy within this like AJATT community to look at other people and see how much they're doing and look at their progress, and then to like compare yourself to them, when in reality it's everyone has their own different situations and circumstances. So it's best to just focus on yourself. And this is just kind of obvious with anything on the internet, really, but people are only going to put their very best version of their self on the internet. So everything you see of other people and their progress and how good they are and how much they're doing is going to be what they want you to see. So they might only be doing a couple hours a day, but they could make it seem like they're doing a lot more. Or they might not be at that high of a level, but then make it seem like they're much higher than what they are. So just keep that in mind, and really just don't compare yourself to other people, because it's not going to get you anywhere. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Because like also I feel like the reason that made me stop basically AJATting for like so many months like in between um actually was like exactly that, because I had a burnout from always comparing myself to others, and it took like that like several months like complete shut off from Japanese to actually realize like I need Japanese because it's something that like makes me being me, and that I love, and only now I can like really like enjoy stuff without thinking too much about like what like others are doing, like
Yeah, for sure.
compared
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, I think I was the same way. I mean, I kind of attached myself to Japanese because it was like part of my identity. So I couldn't just give it up, I needed to whatever. And I really did enjoy the process and stuff. So yeah. So
Yeah.
let's see. So I don't really know where we are on the timeline. So you're reading novels, you're reading even harder novels and stuff, older literature. You're still doing active immersion for listening and stuff like that. So did anything change from that point up until now? Like, are you doing anything different, or are you just kind of continue doing what you were doing and just staying consistent?
Mm, like, yeah, I was basically just staying consistent. Like, obviously, some things changed. Like, I used to like do all my reading on the Kindle because like for mining purposes,
Mm-hmm.
but now I just like enjoy it way more to like sit down with a physical book,
Yeah.
because it also kind of takes that like pressure off me to always have to look everything up,
Yeah.
because at this point, like when reading like a normal book, and maybe like every 5 or 10 pages or something, there comes like up a word that I could like research what it means, but I also could just not do it and still go on
Yeah.
with the
See, that's
story.
pretty
Like,
impressive, I'd say.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and also like I used to just like focus like my entire day like on like only sitting down and like doing Japanese, but just the way that like others are doing like meditation and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of realized that it's good to like sacrifice some time to like do something that actually increases the efficiency of like the like focusing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like every once in a while I will just like put on like some series and like do some workout or like take a walk um whilst listening to some podcast or something,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like combining such like movement things like doing some sports or something with immersion kind of is really effective, like more than actually just sitting down.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Or like something like yoga, or just even stretching.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, I haven't tried yoga yet, but yeah.
Yeah, I actually never tried
Mm.
yoga up until my roommate, Japanese roommate, she taught me. Well, we did a little bit of yoga together my first time. Um, but it's actually really good. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's very good. Like, well, obviously, it's very good for your body, and it's very good, for like becoming flexible and stuff like that. But it's like almost like a form of meditation. And there's like an art
Yeah.
to it, and it is something I'm interested in now. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Any other questions? This has actually been the shortest. It's only been like 30 minutes since we started this,
Like we
which
can also just go on. Like I'm not in such a pressure as I thought I would be. Yeah.
okay, so that's good. Um, yeah, so I
Yeah.
guess I won't rush into the end where I'll ask you like where you think you are and stuff like that. Um, so I guess in the meantime, is there any like notes or kind of like things that you want to talk about with like any advice I guess that you could give to people that maybe haven't reached that high of a level, like are still in like kind of the beginner stages? Any advice that you could give?
Okay, so I don't know if I'm the best person to actually like give advice, but like I would say that which I already mentioned a lot of times, like find like accept that you are who you are, like
Mm-hmm.
with the time you have at your hands and the interests you have and
Mm-hmm.
everything like turns your circumstances, and then just like do what you like when you can do it. Because like there's no point in forcing yourself in some like um ideal form of AJATTer to
Mm-hmm.
like reach some certain like expectations. If you could also just like become good at what you want to like read or watch, because like that's in the end what matters. And no matter what kind of content you consume, if you like focus on drama or anime, even though the kind of patterns are kind of different, and whether you actually like reading light novels more or normal novels or manga or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like you just do enough of it, you will reach like uh, a good result in the end.
Yeah, you
Like,
will. Yeah, as long as you continue doing it, really consistency.
yeah. And another thing I can like really like just recommend is sometimes it's like you like can't how do you say it like sometimes you just can't help but run into some kind of burnout.
Mm-hmm.
And before that happens, I would say, even though people say don't ever do that, that like if you reach that point, you should just take a break. Because like taking a break from Japanese for like a month or like 2 months or something, um, won't make you forget anything. Like I took a break for like 4 to 6 months or something, and I forgot maybe like a bit. My Japanese got a bit rusty, but after like 1 or 2 weeks of like reading again and watching stuff again, it got like to the base, like to the level I used to have
Mm-hmm.
again. Um,
Yeah, and
and
taking a break for 1 to 2 months is much better than quitting Japanese
exactly,
forever. So
exactly,
yeah.
that's what I want to say.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I just said what you wanted to
Oh,
say.
no, no, I was like you just put it in a better way
Mm.
because my English is also really rusty. Because like I also tend to like at times where I do like a lot of Japanese, I tend to get really shitty at like English and my native language even. That's
Well, I think it's
really
awesome. I'm really jealous. You speak 3 languages very fluently, so that's
yeah. I don't know about English being fluent, but yeah.
well, it's definitely fluent. I mean, we're speaking right now in fluent English, so.
Oh, and also like it's not like a recommendation or anything, but like when it comes to like my output,
Mm-hmm.
um I haven't really like focused on output, like on outputting that much yet.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you count like all the hours together that I've like spent to some person talking to Japanese, and like speaking to some person in Japanese, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that will be maybe 3 hours or something, because I was like on a Japanese Discord server once, and sometimes I go to that like bookstore that like sells books in Japanese, and I will talk to the book or like to the store owner there, and
Really? You
yeah,
talk to him in Japanese?
yeah, but it's
Okay.
all just very basic conversation. So I've actually
What
not
does he say?
had
Did he kind of like appraise you or just like did he like Nihongo jozu or
well,
something to you?
it's not really old uh Oji-san who's
Oh,
like
okay.
just like I don't know. I just asked him like where that book is, and then he just came to show me, and then like he explained something about it, and yeah, that's it. Like I didn't actually
Okay.
say too much. And I think he's also kind of used to people coming in there and speaking Japanese, I think.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't at that
Yeah.
impressed, kind of.
Yeah, because it's also like it's also been a while since I've been there, and back then I was even worse at outputting than I am now.
Oh, okay.
But also the reason why I basically focused and like didn't focus on outputting at all yet is that in like December I want to take the JLPT N1,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in that phase where I'm like just like I know I won't really actively study for it or anything. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't see the point in doing some worksheets or reading some textbook or something. I will just keep immersing till then. And I think after that, when I have hopefully like passed it, I want to like go at outputting. Yeah.
So once you've passed JOPTN1, you plan on starting to practice outputting and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
got you. Well, I have like more like deeper kind of questions I want to ask, but since it's kind of like a ritual to ask like, how do you feel like where you are right now and stuff in these AJATT interviews, I might as well just ask that now. So I know it's a hard question, but um, like listening comprehension, where would you say you're at? Can you understand most things?
That's a really good question. Like when it comes to listening, like yeah, I understand most things. Like
Mm-hmm.
even things that used to be like um stuff that I thought like I will never understand that. Like there's that like series. It's called like it's like Legends of Galaxis Heroes or something like
Legends of
Galactic
Galaxies.
Heroes.
I've never heard
It's
of it.
like yeah, I don't know. Probably people know it. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty popular actually, but I probably just misspelled the name. Like it's like this really spacey anime
Mm-hmm.
that has like a lot of like hard terms or like rare terms
Mm-hmm.
that have to do with like space stuff. And I thought I would never understand that and all the military words and stuff, but now I do, like just because I like yeah, read stuff about those topics and so on. And yeah, so I even understand like more complicated stuff in listening, like history and military stuff and like yeah, whatever. The thing that I'm sometimes having like problems with is like a certain like lines in anime
Mm-hmm.
that still that I still miss because they are like slurred or something. And also, there's like when I'm watching like comedy shows like Manzai or something,
Yeah.
then I also miss quite a bit because they say some stuff that is probably very I don't know, like specific to the form of art, I guess.
Yeah, I still
Um,
have troubles. This isn't even so much with Japanese, but sometimes I still have troubles understanding Japanese comedy. Really, like I get it.
yeah,
I can see like the humor in it, but
yeah, but
sometimes
it's like
it's not funny at all, and
yeah,
then other times it's
I
like
just feel like I don't have this urge to laugh, and then I
yeah.
think like, oh, I've probably missed something, but probably I didn't. Like
Yeah,
it's
I think the same
just
thing. I think, oh, everyone's laughing. They've got the laugh track on.
yeah,
Something funny must have happened. Maybe I missed something,
yeah.
but in reality, it's like,
And like
mm,
that's actually like I'm kind of getting a bit off track here, but like
mm-hmm,
that's also a reason that I've kind of been scared to like call Japanese people or something up
mm-hmm.
until now because like I have this really like dark humor and there's been like a few times where that actually like really turned them off like and they kind of like probably thought like I was really scary or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably because all of the suspense and horror novels that you read.
Oh, and also there was that one situation like I was in a call on a Discord server like with
Mm-hmm.
like it was a Discord server for like Japanese people who have like mental issues and
Oh,
like
okay.
I just randomly joined in there because I saw it on like the Discord website and I just thought okay like some place where you couldn't talk to people. I joined in there, and there was like that person in the group chat who was like voice chat who was like explaining like, yeah, I have like I'm a middle-aged woman who has like this um what is it called um like she has several like personalities.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, wait.
Not bipolar. Is it bipolar?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like
But
that. I don't know.
actually, so yeah, so she kind of talked about her daily troubles, and I was like, um, I wanted to say something like, "Oh, that's interesting,"
Mm-hmm.
because she said some really interesting stuff, and but I said like, "Ah, omoshiroi na," and then everyone was like, and like it probably sounded to them like I said, "Oh, that's really funny," and then they actually got really pissed at me, even
Really?
though yeah, even though I just used like the wrong word, and then like
Wait, so
I,
it was just the difference between you saying like
yeah, like,
"omoshiroi na"
and then
instead
I
of
said like
"omoshiroi ne"?
I wanted to say like kyomi bukai ne, and then I just said that, and everyone was like, ah, okay, like yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Well, I don't know if "kyomi bukai" like I don't know because I think you
yeah,
could have just said like "omoshiroi ne." I don't know. That should have been fine
yeah,
if you were just
I
saying.
thought so too, but they maybe it was my intonation or something. I don't
Yeah, it
know.
could be like. Well, I don't know this like the scenario or whatnot. What like what they were talking about. Like if it was something really deep, and then yeah, if you said it in like a I don't know, like you're kind of like taking the piss or something, then they might like, get mad at it. But I don't see why they'd get mad. Especially most Japanese people seem to be pretty understanding with like foreigners and Japanese. So
Like even when I got in there, they were like really like at first I was not revealing that I was like a foreigner, like
hmm
this really like stereotypical thing. And I just talked to them in Japanese, like I was one of them, and they didn't even recognize me being like a foreigner. Maybe they thought I was talking a bit weirdly, but like I don't
mm.
know. Like yeah, but they were really like impressed when I like said I'm like from Germany. But yeah, maybe that was a bit of acting too. I don't know. Like I don't really take people seriously when like Japanese people when they tell me like that my Japanese is good or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to be able to tell. There are certain things that a Japanese person can say about your Japanese
Yeah.
that make it apparent that they do actually think you're like they genuinely think that you're good. But then obviously, like the meme, Nihongo Zozu, it could just mean,
Mm,
you know how to say konnichiwa, and they would say that. So it's like, yeah.
yeah.
But so with regards to your reading, I mean, I already think your reading ability is incredibly high, but how would you say your reading ability is at this point?
Well, okay, so first to like kind of like I don't know, get to the point of vocabulary knowledge. Like I have like approximately like I have like 9,000 something cards in my deck.
9,000.
Um,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, but like I know so many more words than that I just got from reading and never mind. So I probably like I can't make any like real guess, but I would say my vocabulary is around like 15,000, 18,000. Like I really can't tell. Like fact is like I understand like I can just take like a normal novel out of the bookshelf and read it
Mm.
and like yeah, understand it the way I would understand an English novel, probably even better. Like
Wow.
there's even times where I like don't understand an English word and like look it up in Japanese and then I get like, oh, okay. But like
Really?
um yeah, but like especially now where I'm also like trying to get to like books from Mishima or like really like I'm also getting kind of interested like in Kobun and like
hmm
just old, really old classical Japanese. And yeah, reading that is really, really hard. But I think that's also like that also um goes out of the like territory that normal Japanese people like consume their language
Yeah,
in.
yeah. I
Like
don't think many Japanese people are reading old classical Japanese literature.
yeah,
I don't even
like
think my
I
girlfriend could read a
yeah
Japanese classical literature. She doesn't even read.
like like back then when we were like on VR chat and we were
hmm
like talking to people, uh, I was like talking to those two Japanese guys and I mentioned that I read like Wagahae wa Neko de Aru,
hmm
and they were really like they haven't even read that yet.
Yeah,
Like
I think a lot of people. I mean, there's some Natsume Soseki books that they like. Sometimes they read them in school because it's like
yeah,
a requirement. But outside of school, they would never read stuff like that. I think most people.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's like people who have never read like anything by Mishima or something. But
Hmm.
actually, for me, like I'm not interested at all in like the classical literature of like my own country or something.
Hmm.
But there's just that thing with Japanese that um just kind of magically drags me to like being interested in it, like
Yeah.
all literature. Yeah. And at
So
this point, I just wanted to say like at this point, it's not just like I mean, I enjoy Japanese media,
mhm.
but the key why I actually keep on doing Japanese is a love for the Japanese language itself. Like, yeah, it's it's not even that much about the media anymore.
See, I think this is a good motivation for anyone out there listening. There are plenty of motivations to learn Japanese, and none of them are necessarily bad. But I think having just a pure intrinsic motivation based off of interest in the language, like just interest in the Japanese language, is probably one of the best like motivations. Because no matter what, if you have interest in Japanese, if you like how Japanese sounds, if you're interested in Japanese literature, then I mean you're going to be able to continue and stay consistent and stuff because you're just interested in it. So I think this is good motivation. And also,
Yeah,
um, you know, as he's just said, he's at a point now where he can literally go to any bookstore and pick up pretty much any book off the bookshelf and read it without any problems. So that just goes to show in a little over 2 years of AJAT, and
okay.
not even, well, hardcore here and there, but, not even
Uh,
extremely hardcore, like 14 hours a day or anything like that, but just basically mostly reading and stuff as his main focus. And here he is 2 years later, and he can read basically anything off the
yeah,
bookstores. Yeah.
like I think it comes to also show that you don't always have to put in like 100% because like I had days off and I had like days where I only did like an hour or like a few
Hmm.
minutes because I had like some exam the next day or whatever. And like it doesn't really matter. Like if
Yeah.
you just put in, like the years, like opposed to the days or like opposed to the hours, but if you
Yeah.
focus
Or
on the
like
year,
months. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly like that's what it's all about. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Single days doesn't matter. There's loads of posts and stuff on AJAT, which I would recommend people to read, but
Yeah.
it's more about, I get emails because I signed up ages ago, probably over 2.5 years ago for the AJAT what was it, AJAT Nuggets or whatever it's called, the thing where you could log in your email, and then Katsumono has like this automated like email system where every week or something you'll get an email, and I mean I could have blocked it, or I could have signed off so that I wouldn't get those emails. But I don't know. I just like them every once in a while, even though I know Katsumoto isn't writing them personally. It's still fun to read, and a lot of them are there's really good advice in a lot of these emails. Like one of them said something about like, if you don't have enough time, or if you can't do all your reps, do half of them. If you can't do half your reps, do a third of them. If you can't do a third of your reps, do 5 of them. If you can't do 5, then do 1. Just do as much as you can, and don't worry about anything else. And I think that in general is like good advice with anything, but also with AJAT and learning Japanese. Just do as
Exactly.
much as you
Like,
can.
yeah, like, and also you shouldn't like for me, like, I was really strict with myself. Like, for example, when it was like weekend, I was like, okay, like today I wanna like immerse for like say 10 hours, but then some friends came by and like asked me to hang out the night, and then I was always like, of course I said yes, but I was like um hating on myself like in
Mm-hmm.
my mind because I was like thinking it would kind of make me like um yeah, inferior to other Japanese learners.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's not about those like little decisions. Like it's all about the time you actually like stay with it. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is also good advice. I mean, even though sometimes a lot of people in the AJAC community kind of like push the idea of being like an antisocial stay,
Exactly.
hikikomori, like just stay in your room all the time, like don't do anything but AJAT. That's not very good because in reality, even with regards to Japanese, if you're antisocial and you don't have friends and stuff, and if you get lonely and if you get depressed, then your motivation is going to go to zero, and then the actual efficiency with your Japanese studies is also going to go to zero. So it
Like
doesn't make sense. And hanging out with friends and stuff, and taking breaks every once in a while is a good idea if you're doing AJAT.
exactly.
So
Like you have to like people have to just like call to their mind that they are doing Japanese to be like happy in life.
yeah,
And if
yeah,
you make like use it as an instrument to make yourself like unhappy or be like really strict on yourself, then it just doesn't fit its purpose. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Okay, so I have a kind of a deeper question now.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
what is next for you in life? I mean, obviously you're
Mm,
focused now. You're still focused very heavily on Japanese, but is there ever a point where you're gonna have a new main focus, or do you think you're gonna continue staying with Japanese? Like, what are your future like plans in life? Just
okay, that's a really great question. So
hmm
first, like Um, Japanese to me feels like something like not some project that is like over at some point,
hmm
but it's like a basic thing for my life. Like I'm
yeah,
probably always gonna read Japanese stuff, watch Japanese stuff. Uh, yeah, I think it's gonna be my thing forever. But I also can imagine like getting into some other thing like on the side. Like for example, I'm thinking about actually doing it like you and like trying to connect that fact that I like am interested in Japanese and like Japanese literature and culture and stuff with like learning how to code and like maybe create a website or something.
hmm
Because I like the um yeah the art like thing that
hmm
it has to. Yeah, I don't know how to say it, but like yeah, I
Like
kind
you
of
mean like
like
CSS? Like
yeah, like I would like to create something
hmm
like something that's there. I don't know how to say it, like something art like
hmm
um that I can also like connect to my Japanese, like a website or something.
yeah,
Um, but also like obviously like my big goal, which is like part of the reason that I stayed with Japanese in the first place, um, is like going to Japan and
hmm
like experiencing the country. And yeah, the thing that I have planned for now is like I'm in the last year of high school. Obviously, first I want to like do that as good as I can, and like yeah, next year I want to go to university or like college,
hmm
and from there do like an exchange year, like hopefully a whole year to Japan, to like experience the country,
hmm
and then like yeah, see how life goes. Um,
If
yeah.
if you enjoy
Mhm.
life in Japan, if everything goes well and you're able to do your exchange period in Japan, do you think you would move and live in Japan, or do you think you
Mm,
just, or do you think you would prefer living in Germany, or?
that's a really good question. Because like probably I think like I have a girlfriend in
hmm
Germany right now.
hmm
So obviously I hope that everything goes well with her. So yeah, I can imagine like life like when I'm like an adult or something, like where I travel there a lot,
hmm
like say like when say I become a translator or something,
Yeah.
or like some international business stuff, like traveling there a lot and spending like a lot of time there. But say assuming that I have like a wife here or something, I probably wouldn't want to like make her move somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, for sure.
yeah, like it's always like a possibility in my head because I think I could also just um like yeah, just live somewhere else. Like just like, yeah,
So
I
is
don't
it
think
is
I,
it more of you just want to live somewhere else, like in a different? You just want to try living somewhere out
well,
of your.
if it's somewhere, then somewhere else than Germany, then Japan. Yeah,
Really?
like it's this,
Mm.
yeah, like it's this, like I also like countries like China or like stuff like that, but like, uh, yeah, my heart kind of is just like burning for Japan, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel you on that. Cool. So,
Yeah. So it really depends, like whether I stay there and for how long I stay there really depends on how stuff develops. Yeah.
gotcha.
And obviously,
Hmm.
I'm trying not to like make a firm decision on that yet because like obviously I have to see like how life turns out and but that I want to go there for like a year or something to like get a look like I don't know how to say it like to get an overview
Hmm.
that's like pretty sure.
Gotcha. So you know for a fact
Because like
you want to go for at least the year. That way you can
yeah,
experience
because
life.
like I couldn't imagine like my future without going there.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
you've spent all this time studying
yeah,
Japanese, getting fluent, reading all these
exactly.
books and stuff, so it only makes sense for you to go and at least
Like,
experience it.
yeah, that's it.
What
And
is
I
your
like I
girlfriend? Is she okay, or not so much okay, but like, is she also
yeah.
interested in Japan, or do you guys have similar
I
interests?
She's really interested in anime as
Mm-hmm.
well. And she also like, yeah, she's really like happy for me that I have like this
Oh, that's
passion.
good.
She really supports me a lot. Um, and she also like, I think, is interested in Japan. But she like wouldn't probably go to live there because like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Japan is such a different country from Germany, and I think you need to have like a very like big uh acceptance to like
Yeah, like an
adapt
open
to
mind. Yeah, like
yeah like she has
kokoro
an open
hiroi.
mind obviously like that's not what I meant like have to like have an open mind concerning Japan like
Oh
saying okay
yeah.
there's this thing and this thing that I don't like but I love Japan so much that I'm still gonna accept that
Oh
to
yeah. There's a
actually
word for that.
spend some time there because like Germany or like the US or something compared to Japan is like such an open country
Mhm.
like I don't know like open society. But in Japan, it's like really, yeah, like the opposite, if I get it right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would
So is
definitely
Germany
like,
really free then? Like, are you guys like
uh,
pretty? How do you put it? Like sovereign? I don't know if I'd say that, but
it's like the US, like I think, like
yeah,
it's probably a bit different, but it's
yeah.
society-wise
I've
similar, I
only
think.
been in the Frankfurt airport in Germany, so I don't know how it's like. But the
Yeah.
airport was massive. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it did kind of look. I mean, it looked like a mix between America and just anywhere in Europe, really.
Yeah.
Kind of, it's like a mixture between them. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd like to go to Germany properly someday. It'd be cool. I'd like to go to all sorts of places. I want to go to Sweden and
Yeah. Oh
um,
yeah, Sweden. That would be so cool.
Finland
And
and
obviously, like we meet up in Japan, like
yeah,
someday.
yeah. I would
Going,
love to do that too. Um,
yeah.
so yeah. Also, if anyone is still watching this point, I want to apologize for not posting anything recently. I've been quite busy. If you don't know, well, I was living in the UK for the past like 6 months or whatnot, but I've moved back to America and I'm now living in Washington. And I've been like pretty busy with everything, like getting moving into a new apartment and dealing with that whole process, and then starting work. And on the days that I work, I have like no time because I leave the house at like 5:30, and then I don't get home until like 7:30 in the afternoon. So basically, I just get home, take a shower, eat some food, and then go to sleep. So, but I got 3 days off, so I'm off today. So I'm off on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. So hopefully, if I have more ideas for videos and stuff like that, then I'll post more. And I also want to start working on the website more. So yeah, stay tuned, I guess.
Yeah. So was anyone watching in the first place?
Yeah, if anyone's watching this in the first place, but
Really? Nice.
it's fine. Even if no one watches it, I think
No
these
one,
type of
no one
videos.
watched. Wait, what did you say? Did anyone watch it?
No, I'm saying even if no one watches this,
So,
I think it's still a good to like have this out there because it's like you can use it for yourself. You can always look back on this and then see where you were at and stuff, and see how you thought at this time and stuff. So I think it's useful.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just about an hour. So is there anything else you want to say? I know you're gonna have to eat dinner with your family here soon.
No, I still have some time.
Oh, you
Like,
still have
yeah,
some
it's
time.
no rush. Yeah.
Well, I think we've gone. I just want to say again, kind of, I'm praising Nils quite a lot, but I seriously do believe, out of all the people that I've met, he is by far the best, I'd say, especially in the time. I mean, obviously there are people who have been doing it for like over 6+ years and stuff that, I personally, we're not really friends, but like obviously Matt versus Japan, all the old school AJATTers like Patrick and fuck, who else? I don't know. Patrick's a really good one, but point is, I think that Nils is a good example of what anyone can become or reach, even just in this kind of short period of time. I mean, 2 years is not a long period of time. And especially if you're someone like Nils and you like literature and you like reading, you like manga, light novels, stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't take that long, and really the time goes by really quickly. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm very thankful for all the praising.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's also like a matter of what you lay your focus on. Like
Mm-hmm.
I might seem like super good at reading, and maybe I seem even a bit better than I actually am,
Mm-hmm.
because I also don't know how to really describe my level. But the thing is, if like others like who laid more focus on like outputting,
Mm-hmm.
they are way better at like outputting at this
Yeah.
point than I am. Like I don't think I'm like
Yeah, I
such a
will
good.
say that is a thing when with AJAT. I mean, uh, it is really sacrifices. A lot of it is sacrifices. So,
Yeah,
and most people are gonna sacrifice one thing for the other. So in my case, I was the exact opposite. When I first started, I only pretty much focused on listening and listening comprehension, and I didn't really do that much reading. I only really started reading maybe 2 years ago, and then that was very slow, and that was like manga and stuff like that, and reading actual
yeah,
light novels and novels and stuff like that. It's only been like a year and a half, maybe a year or something like that, even though I've been doing it for this long.
yeah.
But because obviously I didn't focus so much on reading and stuff, but I focused really heavily on listening and active immersion. My listening comprehension is pretty high, and I think
Exactly.
my accent is a bit higher. So it is, again, it sacrifices what you decide to sacrifice. But that's also,
I think like
yeah.
in my eyes you are so good at like outputting. Like
Mm-hmm.
when we were like on the VR chat thing, like I was so fucking expressed at like you just talking to the Japanese people, like you were like one of them. It's yeah, that's what I think is impressive. Like yeah.
Yeah, if someone ever interviews me, I'll be able to talk about my experience. But I did a lot of like, I also, even though this is kind of like sacred, like in the AJAT community or whatnot, to do early output and stuff. I mean, it wasn't really early output, but I did like talk a lot, and I did output like back in the early days, like with Hello Talk and stuff like that, and um, also, I met my girlfriend literally 3 years ago, so,
Yeah.
and we spoke like basically every day, so stuff like that. I mean, that's definitely a reason why my output is where it's at. It's still nowhere near perfect, and I still make mistakes and stuff all the time, but um, yeah. So it's just sacrifice. It's whatever is most important to you. Plenty of people don't care about output; they just care about being able to read and being able like to enjoy the stuff that they're reading. And if that's the case, then why you don't really need to focus on output. Yeah.
Yeah. I just took like the like I just have the idea in my head that the time I will need like output, like when I'm like in Japan or when I'm like going to university, even in Germany, and like meet some Japanese exchange students there already,
Mm-hmm.
like that will be like in the future, and I will like also have like a long time, like a few months after like graduating from high school, where I will just basically sit at home and do nothing except maybe like work at some supermarket or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to also use that time to kind of like really study pitch accent and like actually going into like talking to people online to like practice outputting. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's definitely beneficial. I mean, if you do think you're going to be using Japanese and you want to use Japanese and communicate with people, then yeah, I mean, at some point you should focus on practicing outputting in pitch accent. I mean, pitch accent I think is I mean, this might be a little controversial, but I do think pitch accent is a bit more of like a not perfectionist thing, but I do think that even, I mean, you could study some of the most basic rules with pitch accent and then have more than enough knowledge. Like if you just know, like heibon, atamadaka, and stuff like that, and then maybe like nakadaka or something like that, you know those three rules, and you know like the majority of when it's used and stuff like that. But even if you didn't consciously know that, even just with intuition after immersing for so many years, you'd be able to tell like, okay, that sounds wrong. You know what I mean? Like oftentimes, sometimes I'll say a word, like I'll be speaking to my roommate or something in Japanese, and then I'll say a word and I might say it like accidentally with like heibon or something like that when it's supposed to be atamadaka. And even though I don't consciously know that, I intuitively know that. So then when I say it, I'm like, and then I say it out loud, I'm like, oh, that sounded wrong, and then I fix it, and then it's like, and then yeah, I don't know. I think that is just kind of like intuitive ability that you build just through immersing and stuff like that. So,
Exactly. Like the only thing I've done in like concerning pitch accent, like I just have like the color spreadsheet on my wall, like taped there, and I have like my like on my vocab cards in Anki, I have like the vocab word that's like on the back colored in the accent color,
yeah, same.
and I couldn't even explain to you what like Haybon is like just out of like nothing. So yeah, like I just studied it by intuition by now until now. So I probably want to maybe focus on it a bit more in the future. But for now, I'm just really all about learning more obscure words that were used like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Even though that's kind of
even though it might not be the most useful, stuff like that is fun. I like making like Yoji Jukugo and stuff like that. Like I don't know. I like learning stuff like those words. Like
also there's like when I was like reading like Kamen no Kokuhaku by like Mishima, I was like there was like some word I don't remember it, but like I made a card for that, and when I looked it up, it really like seemed to me as if this one piece of literature would have been like the only place where this word has ever been used. Like
it could
I put in the word, like I put in the word in Google, and it instantly gave me the links to this book. Like like interpretations of it. Like that's I still love learning that stuff.
Stuff like that is cool, because then you're like, you know that this is an extremely rare word, and it's like you might be like one of the very few people in this entire world that like knows this word. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's cool. Even though it's arbitrary, it's so fun to like learn and stuff. No, I agree. I mean, sometimes I'll just be reading, and then I just look at the book, and then I kind of like unfocus my eyes, and I just kind of look at Japanese, and then I'm like, oh, you know, it does look cool. You know, it's like it could just be the fact that obviously, you know, even though, you know, I've been studying it for like nearly 5 years or something now. It's something like not new, but like it still feels like something foreign, you know, like it's not like English, where English is just like, it's just normal, it's just whatever.
English.
Yeah, it's just English, but then there's just Japanese, and it just looks really cool. So
probably a lot of Japanese people also don't understand why foreigners or like people like us are so obsessed with like say like kanji or like even reading stuff in Japanese. But it's like to them it probably looks like a normal letter.
Exactly. It's like you know those TV shows or something, or the segments where they like make fun of foreigners and stuff that have like the Japanese kanji tattoos and stuff. It's like that. Even though some of them are like stupid, it's not so much the meaning that people are getting like the tattoos for. It's just the way it looks, because they think it looks cool. But Japanese people, obviously, to them it doesn't look cool because it's just normal. But obviously to us it looks cool. So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I probably have to like end it now like soon.
Oh so, yeah. That's fine. So yeah, I guess in conclusion, if anyone has watched this point, this is Nils' story. We might make like an update video, or not, maybe an update video or something, like maybe however long, or however, you know,
We will
whenever.
find some idea.
But yeah, also I've left Nils' social media in the description, so his Twitter.
Really? Thanks.
Yeah, his Twitter and YouTube is in the description, so if you want to go check him out there. Actually, I'll also leave his like book meter, if that's okay.
Oh,
And then you can
yeah,
see,
sure.
because he's read quite a few novels and stuff, so you can see what he's read and stuff. And if you're like interested in some of the books that he's talked about, I'm sure they'll be on that book meter.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone
Yeah.
watches
But my
point,
book,
oh yeah,
oh
go ahead.
wait, like my book weight meter, I have to explain, like it's really sorted in a really weird way because like when you go on the books that I have completed, it's
Mhm.
not actually just those books that I have completed. Like there's a lot of books that I've read up until like 60% or like 90% and then just dropped for some reason. So
Oh
it's
yeah, I've
probably
done
kind
that
of,
too. Yeah, I have
yeah.
loads of book that I've read like over 50%, or some of them I only read like 30%, but then I just stopped reading them for some reason. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Well, anyways,
All
I
right.
hope you enjoyed watching this. If anyone did watch the whole thing, and
Thanks for having me
yeah,
on
thanks
your
for coming on, and yeah, see you later.
right. Yeah, see you.